Hello and welcome to an amazing podcast. This is Omega D,
And this is Modi.
and we are talking about Dorohedoro. Basically, a recent semi 3D, semi 2D anime series for the winter season. Basically, following the story of a post-apocalyptic world where a chef and a biker with a lizard head fight magicians and wizards, and a man with a lizard head eats wizard heads and has his magic man that lives in his mouth identify them because he's trying to find which one of them turned his head into a lizard.
And also, he can't communicate with the guy who lives in his mouth. That's kind of important. And somehow
Yes.
he eats food, but the guy in his mouth doesn't have a problem with that.
Like, where do you think he gets his food from?
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Why didn't I think about that?
Come on, man. Like, depth, thought. There's like multiple levels on this. You gotta see those levels.
Yeah. So what do you think overall about the show? First thoughts?
So, I think it is very interesting, and I definitely think it's a show I'm going to start following. So,
I knew you would say that.
yeah.
This is definitely your type of show.
So, pros. It has a very unique world, a very fascinating premise. The characters are really fun and really entertaining. And fights, I haven't seen much of the fight scenes, but this feels like a show that's carried by its world and its characters, so I'm not too worried about that. Excellent visual style or visual concepts, and we'll get into that later. Cons. This being a first impressions, I can't say there are too many of them.
Ooh, I have quite a few.
Go. That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Oh, you're done?
Yeah, also, so, on the subject of the animation, so this is a pseudo 3D animation, which is very interesting because it has a unique approach where it doesn't fully commit to 3D, like something like Ruby or Land of the Illustrious or Beastars or Berserk 2016. And it has the problem of the 3D not being all that great in terms of movement. Like, visually it's fine. I mean, you still know it's a 3D model, but it's not that bad. But the good thing about it is, and the other thing about it is, it switches from 2D and 3D characters really often. So, for like long shots where you just see the characters in their full body, those are typically 3D, and when you get like close-up scenes of the characters, that's when they usually switch to 2D. And they tend to, from what I can pick up on, use 2D art for the backgrounds,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And this may seem weird, but I definitely feel like this show is the standard for, like, budget 3D animes.
I completely agree.
Because the thing about it is, since it switches from 2D to 3D, it doesn't give you enough time to, like, focus on the bad 3D sections of it, and the close-ups in 2D sort of help you mentally blend all of it together. So they have, like, the benefit of not having to worry about animating the long shots, and keep the simplified animation for just the lip flaps and the basic character interactions, which is very impressive and very entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, you literally said anything I could have possibly said about the about the 2D and 3D. I think I didn't think it was necessarily bad in any way, like any of the CG animation. And in fact, I think they did it in such a seamless way that I barely even noticed. I didn't even notice it was CG, I think, until episode 2. And then I don't even realize when it switches from CG to 2D. Like, I just don't even... It doesn't register in my mind. So I think they did a really good job with that.
I see it so hard when I look at Kai Man.
Huh?
When whenever I see Kaiman, the biker with a lizard head,
Yeah.
he's always in 3D, and I can never like unsee it.
Oh, yeah. I guess I see it, but I'm just like, it doesn't
You
bother
don't
me at
mind.
all. Yeah, yeah. I don't
Yeah.
mind. Do you think? Because a lot of the time when things are done in CG in anime, it's because it's stuff that would be hard to animate. But this
Mm.
stuff, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it would be hard to animate in 2D,
Mm-mm.
or it doesn't seem like it would be
No.
especially hard to animate in 2D.
Mm-mm. So I'm not sure why they made that choice. I want to say it's probably a cost saving measure because each of those scenes they did in 3D would have been, I'm assuming, well, I know would be a lot harder to do in 2D. So you have that kind of benefit. And that's why I said, like, this might be a good standard for, like, budget anime production.
Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. So for me, let's think. So pros. Unique. It's so unique. In terms
Mm-hmm.
of the world, it's like, I don't know, it kind of has like this fantasy crossed with steampunk,
Yep.
crossed with post-apocalyptic. So that's definitely a positive of the show, and it has a strong, like, the setting of the show has a real strong sense of identity.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, that's also kind of the problem because I hate steampunk and I hate post-apocalyptic stuff.
Yeah.
So those two things kind of annoy me, so I don't like that. But I think it's done well.
Mm-hmm.
And so yeah, that's the setting. Uh, Characters,
So
you're
just
right.
real quick.
Yeah.
So just real quick to establish the setting. Basically takes place between two worlds: the world of the magicians or wizards, or the sorcerers in this case, and the world of like random humans. World of random humans, aka the whole, is a dilapidated, basically crappy slum town where the world of the sorcerers is a very decadent, classy, high rise kind of fancy district. And the whole conflict of the show is sorcerers coming down to the hole to basically practice magic on random humans, usually ending in weird transformations, deformations, and all around unfun times.
Yeah. So in terms of the characters, I agree with you. I think they're like interesting, funny, and I like the interactions between them and, like, the dynamic that the characters have with each other. But my
Mm-hmm.
problem is that one of my problems is that, like, for the whole premise about the sorcerers, I guess the magic users going into the hole to practice on humans, I just don't get that. Like, I feel like there's no reason behind that, and there should be some
Mm-hmm.
reason, like some reason whatsoever, because I just don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I don't know if it's something that will be explained later on, but I honestly feel like it won't be.
I always kind of felt like it was just a basic form of like classism slash racism, where like humans are just lower life forms, so it's okay to use them as target practice kind of stuff.
Okay, I guess, but I don't know. It
But to
just
counter that,
Mhm.
okay, I was gonna say to counter that, humans kind of fight back relatively hard, and we established that these two have been Kaiman and what's the name of the blonde haired girl? I'm blanking on
Nikaido.
her name so hard. Nikaido have been going around slaughtering sorcerers,
hmm
so it kind of gets to a point where it's like maybe practice on a lab rat or a chimp. So
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess I can see that. Yeah, that makes sense. Um, yeah, so that's one thing, and the other thing is, it just like it even like I just don't care that much. Like
mm,
I don't care that much about Kaiman finding the person who
right.
who changed his head to a lizard head, because
Mm,
I just feel like I can't tell. I have such a hard time telling the tone of the show because it
mm-hmm.
switches from like humor I don't think it ever switches. I feel like no matter what happens, it could be like the goriest, like that's another thing too. Like this is probably the goriest show I've ever seen. Not that I have a problem with that, but I just want to note that. Like I don't think I've seen any anime that is as gory as this. But it could go from like something super serious, and no matter what, I feel like it's always kind of just like undercut a little bit by the fact that they're always like the characters themselves aren't serious. Like they're doing crazy shit, but they're just like, nonchalant about it.
Yeah.
And
from, like the clips I've seen, like that's a running theme. Like I know we've made fun of like how JoJo's characters are like mad durable, but these people take it to a whole new level. Like that one girl, Ebisu, gets her entire face ripped off, and she's just like chilling around like nothing really happened.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Like, yeah, it's just like nobody. It's hard for me to care that much because it feels like none of them really care that much. Like Kaiman, right? He doesn't care that much. I don't think so. Like he's too happy. You know what I mean? Like there's a difference between being like positive in a bad situation and just being like happy and not caring. You know what I mean?
Like it feels like we never get to have a good sense of how like him having a lizard face has really screwed over his life.
Exactly.
It feels like he's trying to like change it based off of just the fact that you want a human face.
Yeah, exactly. That's what it is. So like for me, I just find it like hard to care, and also the pacing is kind of too fast. I think like it switches between different, scenes really abruptly, and it's hard to tell, like, especially since I don't think they really like take much effort to do like any proper world building, at the start, which is fine. There's a lot of shows that do that, but like if you're not going to do that, I feel like you should take it a little bit slower because things are always moving so quickly and characters are just cracking jokes. Like someone will smash someone's head in and you'll think like it's a big important thing, but then they'll just crack a joke and it's just like, what's going on? It's too much. It's too much for me. But I do like the concept though of like, the magic and the two worlds. I think that's pretty interesting. Yeah, I guess that's all I really have to say for cons.
Although I think that's just the pacing, just a matter of perspective. Because for me, I didn't really mind it that much. I've always been a big fan of like fast paced stuff, so it doesn't feel like I'm just like meandering around watching something.
Well, I did
appreciate.
Well, yeah, I don't have a problem with fast pace, but I have a problem with fast pace when I'm confused about what's happening. Like it. I like for me to actually like feel like I know what's going on. I had to like read the wiki, Like I feel like you just get thrown into this world and a lot of stuff is happening and they don't take the time to explain anything really in depth, So it's just like kind of confusing.
Like what is there to be explained? It's just the spiker lizard man who sticks people's faces in his mouth to be ID'd by a magical man living in his stomach. Like, what context do you possibly need for that?
Well, okay, so for example, I didn't even realize this was a post-apocalyptic world until I read the wiki, right? So for me, I'm just like, why is everything so bad? I just don't get it. Like, why is everything so bad? I don't understand. It's weird to me. I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I had to have that context to like understand the entire show a little more. I don't know. Right. Also, another thing I noticed is that, do you think the character designs kind of look like Akira?
I feel like when you point that out, I definitely wouldn't be surprised if that's one of the influences.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised either because especially Nikaido, she definitely has like an Akira look, like the eyes and also the forehead, the big forehead. I feel like, yeah, it's. I feel like it's Akira influence, which is pretty cool. Maybe that's also where they got the post-apocalyptic influence from.
So it did come out in 2000. So it's wow. The original run was from 2018.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, it ended recently. Like when I was watching it, the style definitely had like one of those like early 2000s, late 90s looks. But dang, I didn't realize it ended so recently.
Yeah. Huh. That makes sense. That kind of explains why it looks like that. Mm-hmm. It's pretty. I mean, not that it's a problem for me. It looks really cool.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm looking at something right here. The author is actually. She's a big Akira fan, so there you go. Yeah. So what did you think about the gore, by the way? Is this, because for me this is the goriest show I've seen. Is it the same for you?
No.
In terms of anime. No. Really? What anime have you seen that's gorier than this?
Corpse Party and Hellsing.
Oh, okay. I have not seen either of those. That explains it.
There's also whatchamacallit, Elfen Lied, which is pretty gory. And I've also watched some of Fist of the North Star as well, so.
Fist of the North Star is gory? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I've seen some of it, but I don't think I've seen any of the gory parts, I guess, because... Yeah. Because, I mean, this has, like, someone's face getting peeled off, people's skulls getting cracked into brick walls.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's pretty interesting, because I don't think many anime do that. This must have like a really late time slot.
Yeah. You can especially tell by some like the language in the subs.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. But yeah, like I think it's an interesting show that just needs more context for me. Like I just need to, I need to have more context. Like for example, like with N, who is he and what is he trying to do and what is his goal? Same thing with those what are those guys? Noe and Shin Senpai. Yeah. Oh, they're really funny though, by the way. Like Shin Senpai and Noe, like they make a good combination. Also, why do they wear masks? I don't get it.
It's cool. I mean, if you had superpowers, you wouldn't wear a cool kick-ass mask.
I guess, yeah, that's true. Good point.
I mean, at first I was thinking it was just like something like so a person couldn't track you down after you experimented on them, but they can't even like reach you in the other world, so I guess it is kind of pointless.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's no real reason to except like just to look cool, and they do look cool. They look funny actually. They don't necessarily look cool, but they look funny.
I love the character designs in this, honestly.
Yeah. I definitely like the character designs. I like the doctor. I forgot his name, but he's funny. That's one thing I'll say. All the characters, except for maybe Nikaido, all the characters are funny. Yeah. And also, that's another thing. I keep coming back to this because I feel like it's at the heart of like the thing I don't understand about the show. Why are Kaiman and Nikaido friends? How did they become friends? Why is she so nice to him? Like, all of this stuff, I just feel like I just want a little bit of explanation, just a little, because it just makes it hard. It's like, it's hard to focus on the actual plot when you have questions like that in your mind, at least for me.
How much you want to bet that the anime starts way further into the manga than chapter 1?
I don't know. I would not be surprised at all if that's the case. And that maybe since the manga just ended, I don't know how they're planning on doing it. Do you know if this is going to be like a multiple season thing or is just one season?
I think I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out when the series ends.
Yeah. If it's just one season, then that will explain a lot about why I'm so confused. But if they're making it multiple seasons and they're actually starting from the very beginning of the manga, then I don't know. I really don't know.
I'll say this. this does not feel like a if they were going the Death Note, the Tokyo Ghoul approach of like cramming 160 chapters into 12 episodes. The pacing does not feel like that.
You think so? I think it goes pretty fast.
Watch the last season of Tokyo Ghoul.
Whoa, wait a minute. So they actually crammed 150 episodes into chapters into 12 episodes for the last season. That's so crazy. I don't know why you would. Feeling... You know how like all the like the big shonen stuff has always had the issue of like fillers because they just always catch up to the manga. Like I don't understand why if you have like the good fortune to have a property like Tokyo Ghoul where the whole story's finished and it's super popular, all you have to do is just do the story. Why would you condense it all? It doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
Hopefully they're not doing that.
That's crap.
Huh?
Like, let it last. Milk it. Like, go the Attack on Titan route.
Yeah, exactly. Like, the Attack on Titan route is probably the best way to do it, in my opinion. But yeah, I don't know if I have any more thoughts, anything else to say. I feel like there is more, but I just can't think of it.
Yeah.
Do you? Is there anything else you have to say?
Nope. I'm good. So, final rating. Scale of 1 to 10.
1 to 10. Huh. I'll give it a 6. 6 out of 10. I would say it's above average, but it's not. I don't think it's good. Which I'm surprised by the way, because from the promotional poster and just like the way it looks, it looked like the kind of show I could really get into, but no.
I want to give it either an 8 or a 7.5. And I'm a little like unsure where it lands. So I'm gonna say 7.7.
Are you gonna continue with it?
Yes.
Oh, okay, that's good. I think it's actually. You said this was a winter show, right? So I guess it's probably almost over now, or maybe it's already over.
Mm-hmm. I think it's on episode 8.
Oh, okay.
Episode 8. It's going to be. The show is going to be 12 episodes long, with apparently 6 OVAs planned.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So my question to you is, what are you looking forward to in the show? Like, I don't get it. Like, why do you care?
Spectacle and weirdness.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes perfect sense, knowing you. Yeah, okay. So that actually helps me because now I understand what the appeal of the show is, you know? Like, if that's what you're watching for, then that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So I think that's all I have to say. Any last thoughts?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay, all right. So thank you for watching, and see you next time for whatever else we choose to review. If you have any suggestions, leave them in the comments.
All right. Take it easy, stay safe, and have a good one. Bye.